Hello world, how everybody out there doing? Welcome to another episode of Generational Health and Self-Love. I'm your host, Light. And today, I'm going to talk about a previous episode that we had on the show where we talked about the relationship between the fathers and the children, whether it be son or daughter or multiple children. So I just want to piggyback off that episode because I got a lot of feedback on that show. A lot of different fathers was telling me they appreciate the show, the things I was talking about, and mothers as well. So they asked me, could I talk about that topic again? So I'm gonna do that. And I just want to say to everybody out there, whether you are an absentee father, whether you're a father that's currently in your children's life on a regular basis, being consistent with being a father, it's never too late. So like I say, if you're in a child's life, it's never too late to get even better at being a father. If you're not in your child's life, it's never too late to get in your child's life. I mean, so many children grow up and they have questions and they wonder to themselves, you know, the ones who didn't have their father in their life growing up, they wonder to themselves, like, what was it about me that made my father not want to be there for me? What is it about me that made him distance? And now we don't even have a relationship. They start to question themselves. You know, they start to feel like they are the problem. So I'm saying this to let all the fathers out there know, the ones who haven't been there, that your children love you and your children have a lot of questions. And it's on us to seek out that relationship with our children, because at the end of the day, they didn't decide to be here. We made those decisions, those actions that made this possible to even have children. So if you have children out there, please understand that no matter how old they are, they can be a young teenager, or they can be a grown man or woman. They still want that relationship. I don't care how long it's been. You can add so much to your child's life just by reaching out and having a conversation. I know so many children, so many, like I said, who just want to know, hey, what went wrong? Why come you wasn't there? Was it something that happened between you and mom? Was it something that went on in your life? Was it present? Was it your own fear of being a father? Was it because you didn't have a father? They have so many questions that need to be answered. And be a man. I see a lot of people on these social media platforms, and they put out a lot of information. And for the fathers out there who are on the social media platforms, listen to me. Reach out to your child. Reach out while you still have air in your lungs. Reach out to your child or children, because you may have multiple children. Reach out to them, please, and offer them some type of answers to why you have been distant in their life. If you need counseling, prior to you reaching out to them, reach out and get counseling. Talk to somebody and figure out what is it in you that have kept you away. Is it because you feel shame? It's okay. Is it because you abandoned them? Whatever the reason may be, it doesn't mean that it has to continue to be that way. It doesn't mean that you have to just never answer any of the questions that they may have. You have to take it upon yourself to say, hey man, look, what can I do to make this relationship better? What can I do to even have a relationship? Because some of us don't even have a relationship with our children, and we live every day. How could you live every day with a child or children out there and not want to have a relationship with them? I really don't understand it. So I'm not really trying to point a finger and call you a bad guy or call you out your name. I would never do that. All I'm saying is ask for help, seek out some type of help with someone in your community, whether it be your neighbor, if you got a good relationship with your neighbor, whether it be a family member, whether it be a professional counselor, somebody that can help you build the relationship that you should have with your children. It's too many fathers out there. It's too many children out there, I should say. There's too many children out there who don't have a father in their life. So they grow up with all this feminine energy. And not saying that's a bad thing, but if it's not balanced, if it don't have enough masculine to go with that feminine energy, you throw the whole cycle of a man off. So now you have men out here running around here, very emotional, very feminine, and doing things because they don't have that balance. They don't have a man who's been in their life guiding them to teach them how to deal with daily situations, whether it be problems at school, whether it be problems in the home, whether it's when they get pulled over by the police. They need someone who can teach them how to express themselves, how to love themselves, and how to deal with everyday situations. I can just, let me just speak for myself. Me growing up and not having that relationship with my father in the beginning, I didn't understand so many things about myself and how I reacted to different things in my life. I always acted out in an aggressive manner. I always acted out with yelling, cursing, and just going to the extreme and not using my brain, not using my mind, not being able to think my way out of a situation. Instead, I wanted to fight my way out of a situation. I grew up in a house with a lot of women. You know, my mom was very influenced. She influenced me in so many ways growing up, but I didn't understand that was part of my problem. Not my mom being a problem, but carrying on so many of the feminine ways that I got from my mother, not having my father there in the beginning to kind of give me that balance, like I was speaking on previously in this video. We need a balance. Everything you do in life, you need some type of balance to it. Whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's marriage, whether it's relationships, period, you need a balance. So when you have a child growing up, and all they have is one parent, not saying that one parent can't do it, because we see it happen often, but at the end of the day, them children will tell you whether they made it or not, they wanted to have both of their parents in their life growing up. So like I was saying, as for me, as I grew up, and I started to just really dig deep within myself and try to figure out who I am, why I do some of the things I do, why I react the way I react. I came to realize that a lot of the things that I did was me acting out in what I've learned from my mom. My mom, you know, for the people that know my mom, she is a very aggressive woman. She speaks her mind. She gets loud. She has a temper. Even though she's loving, even though she's a caring person, she still had those ways. So I picked up all those ways. And I had to understand, okay, well, this is the reason why you react this way. This is why you do the things that you do, because this is a learned behavior. This is what you've seen growing up. You was in an environment that taught you all the things you know. So once you go back and you look throughout your lifetime and you understand your surroundings, the people you grew up with, the people you learned from, then you start to understand yourself. And then you start to understand why you act the way you act, why you behave the way you behave. And then, and only then, you can start to change the things that you don't like about yourself once you understand. But are you willing to even do that? Because it takes time. It also takes you to really be honest with yourself and be truthful with yourself and say, hey, look, I'm this way because of this. I'm this way because of that. And once you can really be truthful with yourself, like I said, you can start picking apart the things about yourself that you don't like. But that takes for you to look in the mirror and say, hey, look, I don't like this about you. I don't like that about you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put forth a plan to help me trim the fat, is what I like to say. Cut away the things that don't mean me no good and boost the things in me that do mean me some good. So once I started doing that, I started to change so much about myself in a positive way and let go of a lot of the negativity. So once, I guess, I don't know, as I got older, me and my father, our relationship got way better from what it was when I was a child. And you know, I come from an era where I'm sure a lot of you can agree with this. The men didn't know how to express themselves. All they were doing were being men who they were taught from. So they felt vulnerable when it came to expressing themselves. So they didn't never do it. Their way of showing you love, they didn't even say I love you, because they felt like that was a weakness, not understanding that that didn't have nothing to do with being weak. That had something to do with being a man. It ain't got nothing to do with being weak. What's being weak by telling your child that you love them? What's being weak by telling your child, come here, give me a hug? I hug mine right now to this day. Every time I see him almost, I'm going to show you some love. Because I know that that energy is just going to help you and encourage you to be a better parent. Well, not even a better parent, but just make better choices. Because I tell my children, don't try to be better than me. No one's better than nobody. Just make better choices than I did. So I do things in order to help them as they go along in life, because they don't know. I just had a situation with my daughter. We went through something and we came out of it, because you have to let go of your ego as a parent as well. You have to let go of the title that we hold in our children's life, because we assume that titles make us, give us the power to shut them up, to cut off however they feel. No, we should use that to bring out the positive, not only in ourselves, but in our children as well. So what I did was have a conversation, because this is how we communicate, through conversation, not just through a text message. We either on the phone or we face to face. And I expressed to my daughter how I felt about the situation, and she expressed how she felt. and we got on the same page. Because like I told her, the last thing I want to do is have some distance in between us and something happen, and now we regret the fact that, hey, look, we had a rocky we in a rocky point in our relationship, and we ain't talking as much as we do normally do because of what? Because whatever it is that we're going through, it's nothing that we can't get over. So I was so happy that we had that conversation and we was able to get past that. And so that's why I'm saying to all the fathers out there, don't allow your ego to keep you even more distance from your child, because that's a serious problem. And for those out there who haven't talked to, haven't seen, haven't hugged, haven't just had any communication with your child, and your child is still out there, man, please reach out to your child. Now that we have all these different social media platforms, if you know your child is on Facebook, IG, YouTube, or any other social media platform, please reach out to that child. And don't be afraid of what they might think or what they might say. That's just something you got to deal with. They might not be willing to just jump into your arms, but they might be willing to have a conversation. So don't continue to let days on top of days on top of days, years on top of years go by and not try to have that conversation, not try to have that relationship with your child. Your child, I don't know, so many of us out there, depending on how old we are, we have grown children. Some of them children have children. So some of us, we don't have a relationship with our kids, and they got kids, and you're a grandparent. You're a whole grandpa. And you ain't even talking to your son or daughter. Why? When they have children, you know what them children are going to ask them? You know what your children are going to ask them? Well, where your dad? Well, where grandpa? I want to meet my grandpa. They're going to ask them. And you know how your child going to respond to their children? They're gonna feel something inside that's gonna make them feel almost sick, because they can't even explain to their own child why they don't have a relationship with their father. So it's very important that we fix this, not only for ourselves, not only for our child, but for the generation that coming behind them. We have to do something to break these generational curses that we continue to live through in our lifetime. Like, I can't just see myself living and not trying to be a father. I can't see myself on social media having fun and not trying to build a relationship with my child. Like, that's got to be your number one priority. Because once you do that, do you understand what you are doing? You are lifting a great burden off of your shoulders. You are lifting a great burden off of your child's shoulder as well. Because I'm telling you, I don't care, as long as you ain't did nothing to intentionally harm the mother, intentionally harm them, they want a relationship. No matter how long it's been, they want to look at their father and say, I can see myself in him. Now I know why I do some of the things I do. Because so many kids out here grown in relationships, and they still don't even understand why they do some of the things they do, why they have some of the habits that they have. They don't understand that they got this from their father. And the reason they don't know, because they haven't had no time with him. They don't understand that the mannerism, the way they talk, even the way they walk, came from their father. So they living life trying to figure out, because they might be in a relationship, and they say, well, why you always move your head a certain way? Or why you smile like that? Or why you do that? They like, I don't know, it's always just, and then when they meet you, and then when they be around you, then they start to answer the questions that they couldn't answer in their own relationship. They can't even answer these questions with pure, not even gonna say honesty, because they don't know, but they can't even answer these questions about themselves because they don't even know themselves. Because they haven't spent time around a person who helped give them life. So ask yourself, is that fair? Do you really think that that's fair? Do you really think that your child or children should be running around as adults, living their lives, and don't even know why they do some of the things that they do? We got to get better. And I ain't going to sit up here and point the finger and try to blame you or whatever happened in your lifetime. All I'm here to do is to tell you it's okay, long as you seek some type of help and try to mend those relationships. Don't leave this earth without at least giving yourself a chance to try to build a healthy relationship with your child. Please, because I'm telling you, even if you haven't been there, even if your child 25, 30, 35, even if they're that old, they still want that relationship. I don't care how old they are. If you're willing to be in their life, please seek out your children. And seek out someone who can help you. Even if it's somebody, they might be in a relationship and You might be able to reach out to their boyfriend or girlfriend, and they might help mend the relationship. Or you might still have somewhat communication with the mother, and they might be able to help you mend the relationship. All I'm saying to all my fathers out there, this ain't me pointing the finger, like I said, and calling you a bad guy. I'm not calling you a bad guy. I'm not saying that you didn't make no mistakes neither. All I'm saying is whatever's been done, fix it. Because at the end of the day, it's all on you. You know, you made that child. It's your responsibility to raise that child. If you can make them, you can raise them. And if you haven't been there, like I said, it's never too late. If that child is willing to give you a chance, which I'm sure he or she will, man, make yourself a big part of their life. And I guarantee you, it'll only just make you happy about yourself. It'll only make you feel like, wow, all this time, and here we are, like we always been together. And you just like, if you got children that you are around, but then you got children that you don't have a relationship with, those children that you do have a relationship with, they want to meet their brother or sister. They want to say, like, they probably asking, like, Dad, if they know that you got another child, which more likely they do. Hey, I want to meet my brother or my sister. Like, kids want to know their sibling. They, especially if they older, because they gonna automatically look up to this person. So man, mend those relationships, be a father, and continue to live your life in a way to now you can be respected. Not saying that you don't get respect right now, but to have your children honor and respect you, that's on a whole nother level. That's the true meaning of success. So let's break these generational curses, this generational trauma that we continue to recycle over and over again. Like my son said in one of his videos, generational trauma didn't start with you, but it can end with you. Peace and love.